Yo, what's good with y'all guys? This is Mehdi Shimon. Welcome back to another tutorial. Today's gonna be a little different. We're gonna go over on how to mix vocals, and we won't be actually, going through that. I'm just going to show you how I mix my vocals. So it's gonna be pretty quick. We're gonna do it on Logic, and we're gonna do it also on FL Studio to show you guys what's my vocal processing and how do I mix my vocals. So let's start. So the first thing I do is, of course, I add an EQ and I get rid of the lows by simply just clicking and dragging it down. You put some highs like this. You remove a little bit of the low mids here to see which is not a good frequency, like this, to see which one, and something like that. I mean, it's not super perfect, but it sounds pretty good, and it's pretty good. Next thing I do is I'm going to add a multi-band compressor, all stock by the way. Uh, what I usually do is load up a preset called the quick release, and it's gonna sound like this. And what I usually do is add a de-esser. Let me add a de-esser real quick. Hold up. I usually use a waves de-esser, but for now we're just going to use a noise gate. Here's a noise gate. Go to Fruity Limiter. I usually do this to, get rid of, noise room or some stuff like this. And I put another EQ to get rid of the a little bit of highs and treble, just to make it, less shitty sounding. Too much crisp is gonna make your vocals sound a little bad. Alright, let me get a beat real quick. We're gonna use a beat. We're gonna use this beat. And what I usually do is just go to this mixer channel, mixer, and you hit record. But before I hit the record button, I put the beat on 1. And usually what I'd usually do is go over here, click on it, and post track. And basically all the EQing and multi-band compressing is going to be, after you record it, it won't be like, it won't keep here. It will just be empty, and you just put it yourself at number 3 or insert 3, 4, 5, whatever you want. What I usually do is press the record and just begin recording.
Baby two, cheat the pipe, pass the blue. Go with ya, baby two, cheat the pipe. Go with ya, baby two, and the
I blow the joint in the motherfucking junk. I'm a junkie in a junk, like a motherfucking strip club. It don't really matter what I'm saying, it's a tutorial. Let me show you how I blow my joint out the way, motherfucker. Basically, this is just a small example of what I'm going to do next. What I like to do is double click on this playlist track, put it on number 3, and we can't use number 2 because if you do that, this will happen. Blow the joint in the too much. We're gonna put it on number 3. Blow the joint in the motherfucking junk. I'm a junkie in a junk. And I've been getting some people asking me, how do you make your vocals doubles, and what speakers do you use, and stuff like that. I just want to say something. It doesn't really matter what speakers you use. I mean, I don't use speakers. I use a MacBook. You can use a Windows for this, but the Windows has a pretty weird process. You need to install SU4O unless you're working on a PC. I'm working on a Mac OS, so I really don't need a SEO for all, device. I just need an aggravated device, and you can create it by going to the MIDI inputs. And this is how I usually do it. I usually right click here, route to this track, and I would use something called pitch proof, and I would put the wet all the way up and pick this one and put this all the way down to create that double effect. Basically, this is just duplicating the vocals, but without actually doing double takes because it's a pain in the ass. And I use a doubler to get the vocals to sound wide. Let's use this one. This is how I just usually, record that type of vocal. Let me do something real quick. Load a jump up in the fucking strip club while I smoke on some. Baby girl, you know you wanna fuck on some. Load a jump up in the fucking strip club while I smoke on some. You can do this on however you want. You can double it 3 times or 4, but usually I do 2 times because this is already too much. But you get what I mean. So usually after I would, excuse me, after I would record, I usually put these at number 7, put it at 1 track. This is my vocal processing, and I usually add another compressor to double that compression. It's basically parallel compression, but it's like kind of my way of compressing. Parallel compressing. I don't like to do this usually, but this is pretty clean sounding. Load a jump up in the fucking strip club while I smoke on some. Baby girl, you know you wanna fuck on some. And basically I would add a reverb and delay. Load a jump up in the fucking strip club while I smoke on some. Baby girl, you know you wanna fuck on some. Load a jump up in the fucking strip club while I smoke on some. That's how we usually do it on FL Studio. Yeah, basically. So, we're gonna head to Logic Pro X to show you guys how I do it on Logic. Shut the fuck up. What I usually do to use Logic is basically I go to the audio effects here, and I usually start off with a channel EQ, a simple channel EQ. You can use presets over here. There's a lot of presets in Logic. Voice, I use the pop vocal preset, and I turn this a little bit up, the treble. And what I usually do as well is add a compressor. You can use any compressor you want, but I'm gonna do stock because I know a lot of people don't use, you know, plugins that are like from the internet or just Waves plugins or anything. What I usually like to do is go to Vintage FET. I don't know what the fuck this means, but it sounds clean. I like to go to the threshold, turn it all the way down, and this sounds already good. So we're gonna turn this a little down. We're gonna turn up the release a little bit down, the attack up, just to get some punchiness. The knee, a little knee, and we're gonna turn this back up. And as you can see, it's fully compressed. Then we're going to add a de-esser. Okay, pretty simple stuff. Okay, nothing too much. De-esser to get rid of this noise when you're recording. And I'm going to add a noise gate to get rid of the noise, background noise. I'm really sorry that you had to hear this. My niece and nephew is here. Sorry about that. What I usually add as well is go to dynamics and use a multipressor, and this makes it sound really, punchy. I go to this preset right here, extreme deep punch, and what this turn off auto gain. By the way, you don't need auto gain because you can use, this, and as you can see, it sounds pretty good. Not gonna lie. Uh, whatever, if you have a mic, cheap mic, snowball mic, whatever mic will work. It's honestly what the vocal processing is. And basically, what I do is add another channel EQ, get rid of some mids, not too much, and put more highs. And I usually go to the sends bus one, and I turn this up and add pitch proof. Shut the fuck up. Add pitch proof, and this is going to make the double vocal effect. After that, I add a imager, a stereo spread, but usually I just use spreader from the modulation. And what this will do is like spread the vocals, but not too much. Don't overdo it. And you can do this however you want on the Mac. You can do this over like 256 times, but I don't think you need that much. So just use like 3 to do the double effect. And this is my vocal processing in Logic Pro. This is basically what I do to get that Suicide Boys, Scrim, Ruby, I don't fucking know. Anything that sounds like Suicide Boys, Doubler, or whatever. This is it. Thank you for watching. I hope this kind of helped. I know my tutorials suck, but I'm trying my best. Thank you.